Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to our fall Ohigan service. Inside your your service pamphlet is a short description of what Ohigan means. Ohigan means literally the other shore. It is used as a symbol of enlightenment for becoming a Buddha. Ohigan became a Buddhist observation under the guidance of Prince Shotoku in Japan. Near the end of the 6th century of the Common Era, he sponsored the first Ohigan services, which were set at the spring and autumn equinoxes. We celebrate the Ohigan in aspiration for our attaining the other shore of Buddhahood one day. By contrast, this shore would be samsara, the Sanskrit term for aimless wandering. Our hopes to attain Buddhahood include our aspiration to be free of suffering, to be genuinely happy and able to guide others, especially our loved ones and close friends, to lasting freedom and fulfillment. Our response is to live lives of thankfulness. So welcome again to our Ohigan services. We will first start with the announcement of this service, Shinran by Reverend Gibbs, and that will be followed by sutra chanting, Sanbutsuge, which is on page 33 of your service book, and 37 if you want the Japanese version.
Thank you, Kathy. Today, on this occasion of our year 2025 Fall Ohigan service, the members of the Pasadena Buddhist Temple, our friends and our guests, reverently repeat our reliance upon the three treasures of the truth. We rely upon the Buddha, we rely upon the Dharma, we rely upon the Sangha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Anda Butsu, Namo Anda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Anda Butsu. I'll announce the Sanbutsuge and ask you to join me in the chanting of the Sanbutsuge. Busetsu Daimyo Jukyo Sanbutsuge Kogen Gigi Ijin Mugoku Yode Enyo Yuryo Tosha Ichigatmani Shuko Enyo Aishitnonpe Yunyaku Junaku Yorai Yogen Chote Murin Shogaku Dayon Koru Jippo Kaimon Shojin Tammai Chie Itoku Muryo Shinshokeyu Jintai Renmen Shobuten Hokai Ijin Jinno Kimo Gaitai Ninyo Yokunu Teison Yomu Jinno Shishi Jintoku Muryo Kikun Kodai 지혜 진묘 호묘 이성 신도 다이센 간가 사붓나이쇼 아도 쇼지 이후게 닷 후대 조이 카인님 쇼진 묘세 삼마이 지혜 기조 도세 도구붓 수교 시간 이사이 쿠쿠 이사다이온 계시 우붓 약sen 노구만 유료 다이쇼 수명오냐 구요 이사이 시토 쇼붓 수녀 구도 켄쇼 흑약 인용오냐 쇼붓 색깔 무후하게 무슈색로 고묘시쇼 엔시쇼코쿠 요세쇼진 이진난요 요가타붓 국도다이치 도슈킴요 도조 조색 okunyanayon imutofo kato aimin dodat isai kipo raisho shinnet shoujo ito gakoku keraku annon kobut shinyo Jega Shinsho Otsugan no Hi Rikisho Shoyo Kipo Seison Chie Muge Joyo Shison Chiga Shingyo Kero Shinshi Shoku Dokuchu Agyo Shojin Ninjuahu Namanadu 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 Kanyoshikuroku Byorosei Isai Donmono Ishin Onyo Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Next in our service program, we will have Oshoko, incense offering by representatives. First, Dharma School. Next, Sangha teams. Junior YBA. Buddhist Association. Pasadena Buddhist Temple. Will the Sangha please rise for Gatha, Menbutsu 1 on page 137, page 137 of your service book. Thank you. If the Sangha could please be seated. And we are going to release the Dharma School students for an activity outside. If you'll follow Mrs. Gibbs, Kyoko-san, and enjoy the activity.
Unfortunately, this is the only building we can enter except for the bathroom, which is on the porch of the gym. That bathroom is open one person at a time, but the other two buildings haven't passed remediation, and neither has the basement of this building. So, sorry, Dharma School will have to meet outside.
So, I think the junior YBA can go as well if you'd like. I'm not sure on that one, because it'll be a fun activity. They're actually making, I think it's a treat that's for the fall, the ohagi.
Oh.
You know, it's like sweet rice that's surrounded by the sweet beans, the azuki.
Maybe I'll go too.
Yeah, no, well, you can't leave.
That's about 1 billion calories each.
Well, I look forward to eating it, because they are going to be sharing it with everyone who's attending the service. Okay, next I'd like to really introduce our guest speaker. We're so lucky to have her come join us. It is Reverend Stacy Reardon, who is a certified minister's assistant from the San Fernando Buddhist Temple. And just to give you a little background on Reverend Reardon, she received her Tokudo ordination in December of 2023. She is one of the minister's assistants at San Fernando Valley Honganji Buddhist Temple, this is a full name, for the past 8 years. She's attended the temple for the past 12 years. She's married to Eric, if he could just stand up so you recognize who he is. And her daughters Rowan, 12, and Charlotte, 9. And she's planning to join the Kyoshi courses to become a Kai Kyoshi minister. She grew up in New York. I'm not sure where. Did you go to NYU?
No, I grew up on Long Island. I went to Virginia Tech.
Okay. She went to Virginia Tech, and she has her master's in fine arts in film. And her daytime job is a bookkeeper, so that's a very good skill to have. But anyway, I'd like everyone to welcome Reverend Stacy Reardon. We look forward to your Dharma talk.
Thank you. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick because, bear with me, chanting always takes it out of me.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm pretty loud anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Your temple is beautiful. I'm glad you've, for the most part, gotten it back. I know that's gonna keep going, but this is my first time here. It's lovely. If you'll join me in Gassho at these words from Shandao, he's one of our Pure Land masters. I am in reality a foolish being of birth and death, possessed of deep and heavy karmic evil and transmigrating in the 6 courses. The suffering is beyond words. Now, encountering a true teacher, I have been able to hear the name that embodies Amida's primal vow. The Buddha instructs me to say the Nembutsu single-heartedly and aspire for birth. May the Buddha's compassion, never abandoning the universal primal vow, grasp me, a disciple. Namo me Butsu.
Namo me Butsu.
Namo me Butsu.
Namo me
Namo
Butsu.
me Butsu.
Namo me Butsu. Namo me Butsu.
So as Kathy was saying, we're celebrating Ohigan today. Ohigan, as it says in the program, means the other shore. I think for a lot of other Buddhist sects, I think what they normally do at this time is focus on the 6 paramitas and perfecting themselves in meditation. We're Jodo Shinshu, so we don't do that. And what we do is focus on all the wisdom and compassion that we receive from Amida Buddha, who's represented there on your Naijin. And I think a lot of times at Ohigan, what people talk about is the parable of the white path. Have you guys heard the parable of the white path? So it's literally the other shore. Somebody is being chased after brigands, and they reach a river, and there's a thin white path, and on one side there's flames, like a river of flame, and that's our anger, and the other side there's crazy waves, that's our greed. I'm not going to talk about that because I feel like ministers always talk about the white path. I'm going to use a different example. For this past Mother's Day, my husband Eric, my 2 girls, we went to see Annie at the Kodak Theater, the stage play. You guys know Annie, right? Everybody knows Annie? Okay. So I don't have to give you a recap of it. So it was different enough from the movie. I'd only ever seen the movie, that it was interesting. And there was a scene, in the play, the movie, Annie is adopted by Daddy Warbucks, but he wants to adopt her, but she still wants to find her birth parents. That's her thing. She thinks, if I can get my birth parents, everything will be great. So because Daddy Warbucks is a billionaire, and it's the 30s and he's a billionaire, he takes her to go see the president. So there's a scene where Annie and Daddy Warbucks, they go visit President Roosevelt in the White House and to ask his help finding Annie's birth parents. And in the scene, the president's advisors are all there, like the Secretary of the Interior's there, the Foreign Secretary, and they're all giving reports about how the world is going at that point, how the U.S. is faring. And Annie takes place in the 1930s in the midst of the Great Depression. So his advisors are saying, people are starving, no one can get a job, and now we're receiving these alarming reports about what Chancellor Hitler is doing in Germany, right? FDR stops them and says, I get it, everything's terrible, what do we do? So the advisors all start yelling again, and Annie is sitting there, and she, of course, starts to say things like, it might be better tomorrow, and nobody's paying attention to her and FDR, because it's called Annie. FDR says, stop. Annie, what were you saying? And she, of course, breaks out into the sun will come up tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow. And weirdly, I felt myself like tearing up a little bit. I don't know, as many of us know, things did get better after the Great Depression, and then they got worse again during the war, and then better and then worse. And frankly, I think we all know those designations of better and worse, they don't really apply to all groups equally. There are a bunch of people that talk about the good old days, and things weren't good for everybody, right? But in general, things do get better, things get worse. It's this up and down all throughout history. In ancient India, China, and Japan, where the Pure Land Masters came from, these are the great thinkers, the 7 great thinkers that Shinran drew from to kind of formulate his idea of the Pure Land path, and that's what led to Jodo Shinshu. And we're talking like 200 BCE up through the centuries. Things were very terrible for most of the people. I mean, the very wealthy, they're always insulated, like Daddy Warbucks. But for everyone else, during a lot of this time, there was famine, disease, plagues, wars. There were literally corpses piling up in the streets. And I think we are currently living through times that, for many, I think, can feel very dark. But even though the flavor of our problems might be different, we now live with the threat of climate change, awareness of the part we play in climate change, paralyzing doubt about what to do about climate change, political persecution, maybe lack of free speech, a government that might be completely at odds with our personal values, with the effects of the internet on our brains, general ennui and loneliness, not to mention any and all private annoyances and tragedies that we all deal with in our lives. The flavor is different, but it really is same old, things get better, things get worse as we live our lives. So Annie's way in the movie, in the play, of looking at this is unbridled optimism. The sun will come out tomorrow, you gotta hang on till tomorrow. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I stick out my chin, I grin, we got tomorrow, right? I love you tomorrow, it's hopeful. And it struck me watching the play how different that is from Jodo Shinshu. The message of that song is that even though it's terrible now, we can hope that it'll be better later. In Jodo Shinshu, the message is, even though some things are hard right now, maybe devastatingly hard depending on what your situation is, what you're going through, we still, even at the same time, are receiving so much from all life, all around us, all the time, all this wisdom and compassion, even when it's bleak. So granted, Annie was an 11-year-old orphan living under an abusive caretaker during the Great Depression, so she had reason to not be so thrilled with her lot in life, right? But her character is depicted as living completely on the hope and belief that her birth parents will come back for her someday, and then everything will be perfect. Hope is usually thought of as a nice, positive mindset. It's a nice word, and I'm not here to say it's not. But I do think that living on hope is risky. You're always waiting for some future point when things will get better. But what if they never get better in the way that you think they should, or you hope that they do? What if you never perceive them as getting better? How bitter would the disappointment be? I think a lot of other religious traditions operate on hope. That's what petitionary prayer is, right? People praying for things to get better. People praying for the world to change in a specific way that will make it better for them, or their people, or their family, or their team, hoping that their prayers are answered, right? But Jodo Shinshu is different. The teachings of Jodo Shinshu are, as Shinran explained, on the one hand, we recognize that things are bad. We are foolish, we are bound by our blind passions, the anger and greed in the parable of that white path, our self-centered thinking, and yeah, the blind passions of others around us as well, which can help cause all of the exterior issues that we deal with, poverty, racism, and all the issues of our day. But on the other hand, there's the awareness that we all experience all the time, the wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha, who is the symbol of the benefits that we receive from all life all around us. And our reaction when we become aware of this kind of twofold nature of our lives is to say the Nembutsu in gratitude, even in the midst of all of our sufferings. The morning of the day that I wrote this talk, a podcast that I love called Stuff You Missed in History Class, they did an episode on the tetanus vaccine. And I listened to how terrible tetanus is. This is funny because my youngest, we just had to get her a booster shot. She was climbing under the trailer of a friend's house looking for a rat, and she got scraped by a nail, so we had to take her in for a booster shot. So it's funny that happened right now. But tetanus is awful. It doesn't seem like something that has affected a lot of people. It's not contagious like something like COVID or the plague. But for the people who become infected and aren't treated, it has like a 96% death rate, and it is a terrible, terrible death. And tetanus isn't just in rusty nails, it's in the dirt all around us all the time. So it was a serious problem, not just for humans, but for animals as well. They could get it as well. So the podcast detailed the history of the creation of the tetanus vaccine, of its development, all the work that went into it. And I didn't know this, but the physician who was integral in finding the method to prevent tetanus was a Japanese bacteriologist named Kitasato Shibasuru. And he did all this groundbreaking work in Japan, and then actually moved to Berlin to join a then cutting-edge lab. And he obtained the first pure culture of the tetanus vaccine. He also did a lot of other work on diphtheria and the bubonic plague, but the podcast was just about tetanus. And listening to it, I thought how amazing it is that we're all given this vaccine at birth, and to prevent a possible painful death. And personally, I've taken that for granted for years. I don't think about that, you know? This man is born in Japan, becomes a doctor, travels all around the world to work with other doctors, and pushes and pushes and pushes to solve this problem for all of us. That's amazing, right? The world has gotten worse. It's also gotten better. In some ways, Annie is right. We kind of have to count on the sun coming up tomorrow. There's no reason to doubt that it will, day after day, to doubt that things will get better. But for Jodo Shinshu practitioners, there's no reason to just live on the hope that even though things right now might not be great, maybe it'll be better in the future. We don't have to live in hope, so we don't have to be disappointed by dashed hopes, by unrealized wishes. Because in reality, even if things aren't perfect right now, even if we are in a day that's gray and lonely, in the midst of that gray loneliness, of the fact of climate change, political and economic uncertainty, of the awareness that we live with, the people are experiencing pain and persecution, yeah. But even with all of that, there are still diseases that have been conquered. There is live theater. There are fun and informative podcasts. There's books, there's chocolate, there's cats that purr. And the ultimate expression of gratitude for me, hot running water. It's the example I always use for gratitude. Every morning I get in that shower and I say the Nembutsu because I don't have to bathe with cold water or just stink, you know. It's my standard daily reminder of compassion working in my life. All those people that created indoor plumbing, countless beings, right? It's amazing. I'm grateful on Ohigan to remind myself that I experience the wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha, meaning all life, all the time, working to reach us through various means, through the good works of lots of beings who invent vaccines, beings who write musicals, beings who purr, I have 2 cats, and make us feel better on bad days, plumbers, Shinran. We may take it for granted, but our teachings give us the gift of reminding us. The proof is all around us all the time. It's not hope, it's not prayer, it just is, it's fact. So I want to thank you very much for having me on this Ohigan. And if you'll join me in Gasho, Namu Idabutsu.
No, we don't.
Namu Idabutsu. Namu Idabutsu.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you again, Reverend Reardon, for this wonderful message that we can take out into this day of, you know, positive energy and gratitude, because every day and everywhere you look, there's things that we can be grateful for. And look for I always think, look for the small things, because it's in the small things, the ordinary things, where we can be really grateful. But again, thank you again for that wonderful, inspiring message. I feel inspired, so I hope you do too. I'd like to just go ahead and have some announcements. If anybody has announcements.
Thanks, Lizzie. So cool down here.
We have just a few announcements.
Here comes Jeannie, and I'm behind you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, we're running back into gear. As you know, we only have access right now to supposedly a third of this building, although we sometimes go in the back. But we have the bathroom open on the stairs of the gym, and we apologize for not being more accommodating, but this is all we can do for you right now. We'll see some of you right after service, chat with you, and I think we have a few snacks that the first come, first serve. But we'll be back here next week. We hope to see you here next week, 10 a.m., and I'll be the speaker first time I speak to you in a year, so I'll be the speaker next week. And we'll have the Tai Chi 1 o'clock Tuesday and Thursday outside somewhere in the shade. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see everyone here today. I'm glad I got an extra dozen donuts. That's right. So the few announcements we have is that we have to turn in our registration form for the Southern District Conference, which is occurring this year in San Fernando, which is very, very close. And if anybody needs a ride, we are willing to take you. It's the first full-on day of conference we've had in many years since COVID. So this is a morning to 3 o'clock one. And if I can pull this up right, they have workshops for everybody to pick from. But number one,
If you want to announce anything about it.
oh yeah, we have from San Bernardino, but number one is Reverend Adams is going to be the guest speaker, and most of us have met him when he was down here at Oxnard Buddhist Temple. He speaks Japanese and English, so those of you that speak Nihongo, please sign up, please. So I was going to go over all the different workshops, but not only are we going to learn about Japanese culture and how it works in with our Buddhist teachings, we have workshop choices, and the choices go from mini mindful garden and Japanese poetry, and it sounds like we're going to make, you want to talk about these?
If you want.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm no expert. I mainly tune out during the meetings, but don't tell them that. Yeah, I think there's make a little mini garden, and then with poetry, there's mask making, there's dyeing, like, I forget what it's.
Natural dye.
Natural dyes. Yeah, I think they're going to go around and pick flowers and plants from the garden and do natural dyeing. There is a, actually gardening, like, I think they want you to pick weeds, I don't know. And then there's, I'm going to be honest with you. And then there's origami and also improv.
And mask making.
And yeah, mask making, they're doing these like paper mache masks. And yeah, so what you have to do, I think, is write your top 3 choices, and then they're going to hopefully, fit you in. And then there's a whole performance from a group from the Bay Area that, Ohigan theater. It's not no theater. It's just Kyogen. It's like something. Our minister found them and is bringing them down. So it should be good. I think there's bento. I think bento. So yeah. Okay. Thanks. Please come.
So again, this is the first all-day Southern District Conference we've had in many, many years. So hopefully you'll make it a point to go. BWA members, we will pay your registration. Otherwise, it's $60, but we need to turn in your list. And so the earlier you let us know what your choices are, the better it is. It's a wonderful, it's maybe a half an hour away from here. But if you need a ride, we'll take you, okay? The other thing is the Nikkei seniors are taking a trip up to, help me guys, where's that garden? Where's the nursery up there? Michio's. Michio's is going to be closing. And so this is your one chance to have a small group. No one else will be there except the Nikkei seniors. They give you a tour of the nursery grounds, show you where they start all the different hybrids and stuff, but they give you an opportunity to purchase. So that trip, if you want to go, you have to let Ron know, because they're making a list of people, and that's on Monday something. The last Monday of this month, so please let Ron know. Huh? 29th. The 29th. It's the same day as origami, that's why I know it's that Monday. Other than that, please stay. We have otoki provided by the BWA. One day when we get back open, BWA will fix you something that we made instead of having to go to a donut store. So please, I guess we can eat inside, huh? Just don't be too messy. But we have coffee and donuts for you to pick. And the kids are still in the back making omanju. So if you want to take your coffee, donuts, and just walk down there and see what the kids are doing, that's fine too.
We'll be outside for a while and socialize with you as long as you can take the heat.
I don't think it's too hot today, so this is good. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to tell you, I went to the nursery this last time, and they had a breed called Honen. So I am trying not to kill this plant, so I want to go there to make sure I'm taking care of it properly, so it'll bloom every year. But again, remember, please, have a donut. You know, you can't pass up Krispy Kreme. You know, it is, you know, it's one of those guilty pleasures.
You get home in plenty of times to see the Dodgers win their next game.
Anyway, I want to thank everyone for coming, but I think I'd like to just read you this one quote that I think might apply to our speaker today. It was Mahatma Gandhi's quote about despair. He says, "When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time, they can seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Think of it always." And Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And thank you for coming to this Ohigan service, but please, Krispy Kreme donuts, coffee, and go to the back and watch the kids. Okay, hold on. We have one more announcement, but again, let me finish. Krispy Kreme donuts and coffee here, and you know, please, you know, socialize with people you don't know, and then let's go watch the kids make the hagi. Okay, Marvin?
I'm sorry, I'm the last one. My name is Marvin Inoue. And just to let you know about Nucio's Nursery, this family helped the Japanese during World War II when their nurseries and stuff were confiscated and they lost a lot of property. Nucio's owner helped the Japanese, and they specialize in camellias and azaleas, which are very popular in the Japanese culture. And so they've hybridized all kinds of different, you know, there's hundreds of different camellias and azaleas. So again, it's worth, I think, visiting the nursery before they close. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Marvin, for reminding us about the history of the nursery. They always used to bring a big group when we used to have sukiyaki dinners. You know, we had a big crowd from them. But again, thank you very much for attending this Ohigan service. And again, let me thank Reverend Stacy Reardon for giving us a really inspiring speech. I will look at Annie, the song, tomorrow with different eyes. So thank you very much, through Jodo Shinshu eyes. Thank you. Thank you again. Let's eat.
See you next week. I hope to see some of you outside.